Hey YouTube! What is up? Brian Fanafan17 here. Welcome back to another Rate That Fan. In this series, I will go through different ceiling fans, various ceiling fans, and basically rate them from a scale of 1 to 100. I do each fan by individual finish, and sometimes, depending on certain other features about it, I don't just rate general models, I'll do specific finishes. I will still be including the fan's rarity as I rate each individual ceiling fan as well. And yeah, that's basically all there is to know about the series, so I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so on last episode, we rated all the ceiling fans that were in my new house, and as I promised on that episode, the next one would be the ceiling fans in my old house. Now, I want to apologize, and I mentioned this in the Rate That Song video that I did recently too, that I haven't been doing either this series. I took a break from them from a couple of months, and I didn't mean to. I just kind of got busy with stuff. So my apologies about that. But now that we're here, we can finally get to episode 3 of Rate That Ceiling Fan, which will be the ceiling fans in my old house. But before we get to that, I do want to mention that since that video, I actually got a lot more information about the Zonix Wet Custom, because I stayed in a beach house with 18 of them. Let's see what we're gonna say. 7 out of the 18 of them. They basically had 11 black ones outside, and then it was like this big 4-bedroom house with like a loft and a deck and a living room, adding up to a total of 7 Zonixes inside, and the ones inside were white, exactly like the one that's supposed to go on my porch. So I got a better idea of their performances, and I have to say, I think, because as you guys remember, I had heard a lot of not so good things about the Zonix, so I was like, it was like very, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. And as I got there, I see why some people maybe didn't like them, but honestly, to the people that really hate them, I think, especially if they like other Fanimation fans, like the other ones, like the Cute and the Sculptor, but they hate the Zonix, that confuses me a little bit, because I felt air movement on them, and they're actually pretty good air movers. I wouldn't say they're like amazing or anything, but in some ways they are not too far off from being like Spitfire and Sculptor, like a regular AC Fanimation model. I feel like the blade pitch on them is pretty decent too, so that also helps give it air movement. Now, I will say their performance on some of them was a little iffy. Some of them already seem to be having bad capacitors, which most, it was actually only a couple out of the 18 of them. Most of them were fine, but there were a couple that had bad capacitors, and that's pretty quick for a capacitor to go bad. And they did hum a little bit. All the other Fanimation fans in my house are really quiet, and the Zonixes hummed a little bit. And I mean the other Fanimation fans in my new house. This house only had Zonixes. That was the only type of fan that was in the house, the beach house. So I'm going to up my rating to, I don't know, because they're also childhood, and they don't look that much different than the childhood version of the Zonix. So I might have to go with like a, I don't know if 65 is a little too high, but I feel like 60 is a little too low. I'm going to go right in between and say 63. That's a bit of an odd number, but why not? Because this is a big scale. Why don't we do 63? And I'm also, since I was able to find 18 of them in a house, I wasn't able to find any pictures of them online, but since a random beach house had 18 of them, I also found other ones throughout the neighborhood. Now, we're talking about the white ones specifically, but I think I might add up to, I think it actually might be more on the level of the Cute in some ways. So I think I'm going to change that 20 to a 60. I think I realize now that sometimes people just, more common fans like that, maybe they just don't happen to have a lot of videos or something. But I think there actually probably are quite a few of them, especially in more of the southern areas like Florida, though I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, I could be changing this rating again, but I'm going to change a lot of that because I found a lot more information about the Zonix Wet Custom since the last time I rated it. And I think that this is something that could happen every now and then and rate that fan. So this is an example where if I find out more information about a fan, I might change the rating and rarity. Anyways, getting into the actual fans in my old house. We are first going to start, why don't we work our way upstairs down? So we're first going to start off with the Ellen Roth Mason that was in my family room, and also that fan in general. So that was the first version of the Mason that I believe that came out. And let me see. I feel like it's pretty common. I also saw 2 of them at a laundromat, but then again, maybe they were the Harbor Breeze version. I actually, we were actually meeting a bunch of family members for my Uncle and Aunt's 50th wedding anniversary down in Florida, and one of my aunt's family members rented a beach condo down there, and I saw it while I was down there, and it had a couple Harbor Breeze Masons in it. I took a short of that. I'm just really behind in uploading videos right now, so I'll eventually upload the video of those, but I thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, you can see, so I'm mostly getting a bunch of catalog pictures. Oh, and then there's mine. But like I said, my friend has one in his bedroom, and let's see if I can find video. You can see there's one there. And I've seen them around and stuff, but I do not believe they are sold under Ellen Roth anymore, if I'm correct. At least, oh my gosh, I almost went to pages. I wanted to go here. So, but then let's think about my rating. I guess I got the rarity part out of the way first, but my rating of them, well, I like the look on them okay, but performance-wise, the one that's in my friend's room is now really buzzing. It is the loudest, it has become like the loudest thing ever. And the one that was in my house remained okay, at least up until I left it. I'm glad. I worry about the future owners that it might eventually start making that same sound, but I'm glad that mine still seemed to be in decent condition by the time I left the house. So, but one problem with it was that the remote on it, the battery eventually would just drain out so quickly, which is like, it wasn't supposed to do that because none of the other remotes in my house did that. And the Harbor Breeze Montebello in the sunroom, which will be rating coming up here, had it had a like the same kind of remote, other than it was Harbor Breeze, and it didn't have that issue, but this one did. So I have to say, all these Lowe's fans in the past 10, 20 years or so have not been great. That's no secret, all the China-made stuff. And this is definitely falls under one of those categories as sort of in the not-so-good fan category. But I do like them because they're childhood, but I wouldn't say I absolutely love them. So I'm going to give it a... and it's definitely going to go here. I think I'm going to, let me enter in the information while I continue to think a little bit about it, but I think it's going to be, I think I'm going to have to give it a 40, because it's not my favorite, but, and it's 44 inch, okay, so I have to put 48 inch, 44 inch, it's brushed nickel. 3 blades. And the rarity, since I think, I don't know, part of me just wants to go with the flat out 50 for that, because I feel like they're fairly common, but since they're not sold under Ellen Roth specifically, we talked about how fans that aren't made anymore, that automatically drops the rarity a little bit. And like I said, low numbers mean more rare. I don't know why it came up with that exactly, but yeah, I'm probably gonna do, yeah, since they're not made anymore, I I might have to go with even a little lower than a 50, like maybe a 45 or something. I don't know. Like I said, sometimes it's really hard to be exact with this kind of stuff because there's only so much research available that can be found. Like it's hard to really know like exactly how many of them there are like in the world, and that doesn't include the ones that have been trashed. So like I said, that's my best guess. That's a bit of a guess, but that's my best guess. All right, next fan is the Harbor Breeze, or let's see, that is definitely a go above because I like that more than the Mazin. Do I like it more than the Zonic Sweat Custom though? I don't know, maybe a little more. So I'm going to go write the information for that in. Insert row below. I don't think I have to do a lot of research to get an idea of how exactly rare this fan is. And that is, let's do the research. I think it's 36 inch. I'm going to trust my later self versus my earlier self on that. And these are both mine, but Ceiling Fan Rocks has a video of one too. And there was also an old video I remember of one in this lighting store. Someone demonstrated one in some sort of lighting store. I don't even know how it ended up in a place like that. Those lighting stores usually didn't. Yeah, this one right here. Like this kind of store I would not expect to take Harbor Breeze. So I have to say that's very odd. This is emanating to D1. Well, hold on just a second. That has a different canopy. I don't think that's the, I don't think that's actually the same one. I think that might be like a... Okay, guys, that's not the same canopy. Look at that right there. That's like not the same canopy. So I don't know if maybe, because I was going to say a lighting showroom like that having a Harbor Breeze seems very odd. And this is you can even hear some of the people. See, I see it says sold in Asia by Elmark. I wonder if maybe this is a relabeling. So you know what? I don't count relabelings. That one does not count. So they're pretty uncommon. They're definitely probably way below the 50s. Make sure, if any of you know for sure in the comments of what if that's actually true, like that is, but I'm guessing because the canopy's different, that is a foreign rebranding of the same fan. And what finish is it exactly too? I don't want to say it's chrome, but I don't know. I'm just gonna say, I mean, I might just put plastic for now, because I don't honestly know, to be honest with you, what you call that. I don't know if you call that. I don't think that's really chrome, so plastic 5 blades. So my rating of it, I'm going to have to say, is a... I don't know. That's actually a good question. Because I actually do feel like they put a pretty good amount of air, and it's really childhood. Because it's the first fan I ever got put in my room. Like the first time I ever had a fan in my room back in 2008. So I might have to give it like a, you know what? I think I might have to like, actually, you know what? I did not put that in the right place. I'm going to have to give it... Man, I'm still struggling a little bit about Jacob, but you know what? I think I'm going to give it an 85, because I do think it's a cool fan. The only reason it's not way up there is because it's not, like, super vintage. Like, I mean, well, like I said, I like a lot of fans that aren't vintage, but it's not, like, the best quality fan ever. It definitely still falls in sort of the, junkish category, and it did hum quite a bit, mine. But I also feel like it was a pretty good performer, and man, that was a cool that was a sick design. I'm not gonna lie, some people didn't like it, but I really thought it was a cool design. And to put out that amount of air with a design like that, it's like the Sculpt Air. There's one reason I like the Sculpt Air so much, but the reason I love the Sculpt Air is because it's Fanimation. This is Harbor Breeze, which most Harbor Breeze fans I don't really like absolutely love or anything, but you know what? I change it to 90. That's how much I like it. And the rarity, I'm going to have to say, and it's pretty rare too, which is another thing that makes me like it. I might have to go with like a, well, it's not being made anymore. I might, do you think it might even be, I'm trying to think if it's even rarer than like the Veranda Deluxe. So we're thinking about that one particularly. I think I'm going to go with a 15. That's just my guess, because I think it's pretty uncommon. They were only sold, I think, at Lowe's for 1 year, and not a lot of them were made, but, you know, I've seen them around. I've seen Facebook Marketplace listings of them. There's another fan collector that we know that has one, but like I said, I don't think that one in the lighting showroom counts anymore, because I think that is a foreign rebranding of one. Other info, I don't know, Awesome Blades. Even though I guess that's not really necessary, but whatever. Okay, anyways, moving on to the next fan in my living room was the Bronze Hunter Grand Lodge. Now, I've realized I've kind of been talking a lot in this video, so I think I'm only going to include 2 more fans. I don't know, I didn't leave a timer for how long this video has been going on, so I don't want to run it over. I might do another episode of fans that have formerly been in my house, which actually reminds me, we're not doing the Hunter Grand Lodge. I don't know why I said that. We're doing the Fanimation Odin. So, I actually already know what rating I'm giving it. And the Fanimation Odin. And I believe it's still being made. I think you can even get them at Lowe's. So it is still being made. I've seen other ones around. I've seen a lot of different catalog pictures of them. You need to get I think that's even the same one right there. So the bronze one with the bronze blackish. Well, I'm trying to think if... Actually, I think mine was black. Was it? I think that's a thing I kind of wondered if it was black or bronze. The one I got. I have the box for it somewhere, but I don't know if that will say. Yeah, it looks black. Let's see if I can watch my own video. So this looks like a, it looks pretty black to me with the black blade. So it's 84 inches. 84 inches. With 9 blades. So black with 9 blades. And it does have a light on it, I guess. Yeah, because you can get them without lights. Although they usually let you have that option anyway. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to include that because that always comes as like a in the box. You can choose to either have it. I actually left it behind for the owner in case he wanted to remove the light on it. The switch cap that came with it if you didn't want the light. So every time someone got one of those, they could choose whether to have the light or not, the light on it. So they were like made with both options being possible. So I'm not going to do those separately. Is in like rarity and stuff or how much I like them. Although I have to say, and in some ways I might like them equally, in some ways with or without the lights. So I was going to say in some cases I might prefer a light on a fan, but like I don't think in this case. And I decided my rating with the Ura is going to be 90 because I feel like I really like them. I still don't know if I could quite like it quite as much as these. I just love brushed satin brass, and this is just kind of the regular matte black or like bronzy black finish. So it's like, I don't know, like it's just not quite as much, but I still really like it along with the Ura kind of up there. And I have to say, I think I'm going to rate it, the rarity. Well, if it's still being made today, which I believe it is, I've seen them around. I might have to go with... I might even have to go with like a 70, because you could still get them today. Or actually, no, not a 70, 65, because why not? Again, I kind of have to guess with these, but I think they might be a little more common than the Cute just because they've been sold for longer. Or I could even call mine just a 67. Honestly, it is so hard to like commit to something when it comes to rarity, because it's just like you're kind of guessing. But I think they're more common than the Cute because they've been sold and made for a little longer. And I believe they're more common. I think they've even been sold longer than the Zonix Wet Custom, though I'm not positive. And I've seen them around. I feel like in some ways, like, it's like the Cute in some ways. Like, it has the popularity level of the Cute, but it's been sold for longer. So I put it up a little bit more. So anyways, for the final fan of the episode, we are going to do the Harbor Breeze Montebello that was in the sunroom. So we got Harbor Breeze. And it was 52-inch, right? And that's the thing, I could not find actually any other. There's a Roblox, but clearly that doesn't count. I also see a list of top 10 worst Harbor Breeze ceiling fans ever made today. You know, maybe I could look at some of those lists and like give my own ratings. That could become more content coming up, but I don't see. Oh, funny, I actually see it, but that's a Harbor Breeze Mazin, I believe. Yeah, it's Harbor Breeze Mazin. But I don't see any other videos of any of them. And they actually made a brush nickel one, too. Actually, in some ways, if I found one, I might get it just because it's really rare. They accidentally gave it to us when we tried to order this one, but we didn't want it because it didn't match the finish of the light in the kitchen, and it didn't. We had a bronze theme going on, and it didn't. And a brush nickel one wouldn't have matched the colors and the theme. But and it was one of those. I don't know if Lowe's even does this anymore, but it used to be that they'd have certain fans that were special order, which I thought we did, and that was one of them. And from experience now, it was a real drag because it took so long to get in, and then they didn't even get it right because the code they put on the catalog was for the brush nickel one, and then we had to send it back, get the bronze one out, and then put it up. It was like a big hassle to order. And then from the moment we started using it, it had a loud sound, and this whole spinner part on it, I don't want to say flywheel because that's not right, I don't believe, but that whole kind of spinner part on it was like crooked, and it like I don't know if it quite scraped, but it like made a sound and stuff. So my rating of them is actually pretty low, despite them, and the air movement was not great. It was okay, and then it didn't go that fast. And then I believe by the end, as we started to move out of this house, I don't think I've actually told anyone this yet, but I actually noticed the capacitor was starting to go bad by the time we left the house this year. So they are not great fans, in my opinion, despite them sort of being childhood, because I got that one was put in when I was 10. But I might have to give it like a, let's see, Harbor Breeze. Okay, put that at a classic style at 15. I don't know. I think I'm going to put it actually at the same. It's going to be tied for 15, but then it has to... Okay, I'm going to have to redo that then. Insert row below. Actually, you know what? No. Never mind. Forget that. Delete row. I'm going to do 16. Just one above, because why not? The design on it is much more cool than the classic style second gen. In my opinion, I love the rings. Well, okay, maybe love's a strong word, but I really like the rings at the top of it, and I really think that's cool. a nice design. And even the shape of the blades is kind of cool. There's not much pitch to them, but I really like the shape of them. So I will give it a little more for pretty decent design. Well, this one maybe even has a little better performance in some ways than the Montebello. Although I don't know, it might be pretty close. The Montebello, despite its poor performance, very poor performance skills, had a okay design. So that's why I'm giving it just like 1 point more. Let's see, any notes? I don't think so. And then the rarity, like I said, I can't find any pictures of this one. This was the catalog option, so I don't know. It might have been a little more common than the brush nickel one, but then again, I don't really know because this was the version that was in the catalog, but because it was special order, I think that's one of the reasons it made it so rare, is because a lot of people probably didn't want to go through that process. They couldn't just pick it off the shelf. So that's one of the things I think made it pretty rare. And I don't know if many of them were made. And then, like I said, obviously it's been long discontinued since. So I think I might have to give it... Is it even more? It might even be more rare than like the Veranda Deluxe, because I've actually seen multiple videos of even this particular 36-inch one. And I even found another picture of the sculpt there. Well, actually, okay, that's still being made today. Now, I still don't think it's as rare as the California Gold, but I don't know. It might be pretty close. So I think I'm going to have to give it a 7. Because I think, I mean, I might, if I'm sure if I thought about how many of them there were in the world, if I could find out how many of them there were in the world, I'm sure we'd find if probably other houses, other stores out there that still have them. Like I said, I'm thinking about places that still have them, not places that used to have them and then threw them out. That does not count. So I'm sure there's still probably a few other ones floating around out there. There might even be some other ones that people have seen, including fan collectors, but just chose not to video because they're like, oh, it looks like modern junk. I'm not filming it. But that could be another reason I haven't found a lot of videos of it, but I think it's pretty rare because it was a special order fan. So with that, we have pretty much wrapped up the 3rd episode of Rate That Ceiling Fan, and I hope to keep doing more. I've been getting a lot of requests about what episode I should do next, so I'm actually going to have to think about it a little bit. Sometimes I know what I'm going to do, and I might drop a little hint. Sometimes I might just outright say it, but this time I can genuinely say I'm not sure what the next episode's going to be about right now. But like I said, anything, I mean, maybe it'll just be about the fans that used to be in my old house, like the Grand Lodge, the, oh, and I realized I just did the Mason, too. Actually, maybe I should have done the Sears Lasco as well, but that was a fan of my collection. So, actually, you know what? Maybe for the next episode, I'll sort of do a part 2, because I sort of did did I say Mazin or the Aura? Like I said, the Aura wasn't the last fan that was in my bedroom. And then there's the Flanagan 2 as well. So there's other fans that used to be in my old house. So I think that might be the next episode. It's just a part 2 of this. In fact, this might even just be called part 1. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know how long this video ran on for, so it might be a little longer than the usual episode. But hope you all have a great day. And as usual, remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Rate That Ceiling Fan episodes. Take care.